Welcome back to another episode of the Caffeinated Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Shai095.
I'm Danbyytv.
And I'm Psychometry.
And tonight, it's Halloween. And I don't know how to segue this, to be honest, so you know what?
I got this.
Yeah.
You know, on Halloween night, you think of the spooks and you think of all those terrifying mythical creatures, those ghosts. But sometimes the true terrors lie among your own fellow human beings. How's that? It's pretty good, huh?
That works. Yeah.
Spooky.
And so we decided to take it to a different direction today. Instead of talking about, you know, good old spooks and ghouls, we talked about some true terrifying events that have happened around Japanese culture.
AKA some of the killers.
Murder.
Some killers, some death cults, you know, the good old classics.
But I think I'm just going to get it out of the way. Just today, a man was just dressed as the Joker. And how old was this guy? 24? 24-year-old. Dressed as the Joker, riding a commuter train. Literally stabbed 17 people. Now, I don't remember whether or not it said if this was, like, aggravated or not. Like, what caused the whole thing. But
based on the report, I'm thinking it was unprompted. The guy just decided, hey, I want to get the death penalty today, and so he went on the train and stabbed 17 people.
He put on the costume.
Jesus.
He had to fit the costume.
Why so serious?
Yeah, before the stabbing started, passengers heard him saying, "We live in a society." So,
oh my god,
Jesus,
we live in a society where I would like the death penalty.
Yep.
We live in a society where the death penalty exists, and I would like that.
0 to 100 real quick.
Unfortunately, I will need 17 volunteers real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, perfect.
Well, yeah, so that happened.
I can't believe that happened. Just...
Dude, he really enjoyed The Dark Knight.
Damn, I don't even know what to say. First of all, it's just, why the Joker? Like, the Joker was known for, like, playing mind games and shit. He didn't just straight up shank people.
Wouldn't Ghostface or Michael have been, like, a better...
I think I know which Joker he was. He was probably Jared Leto Joker, that's why.
Do you think so? Because he just said it was, like, purple suit Joker or something. And that rings like classic Joker to me.
Yeah, that almost sounds like Jack Nicholson Joker.
Sounds like cartoon Joker.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, there were so many other questions where it's just like, okay, so why did you just decide to do it in a train?
Why'd you choose violence?
Like he said, he wanted a death penalty.
We know why he chose.
He wanted to die. He wanted death.
There's so many layers of confusion here, where it's just like, why a train? Why the Joker? Why not just commit murder? Like, the weirdest part for me is the fact that he managed to stab 17 people, but he didn't manage to kill a single person, despite the fact that he wanted to get the death penalty. And I did a little research on this. According to Japan's laws, for capital punishment, and, you know, nowadays for capital punishment, it can't be just... I'm pretty sure it can't even be, like, simple murder. It has to be, like, really bad murder. You know, it has to be aggravated assault. Of course, what it said, it has to be, like, aggravated murder or something. Which I'm not quite sure what that means. Yeah?
Wouldn't you... I don't know. I feel like that would be considered that, though, because he injured 17 people. That's a lot of people
and seriously injured 3 of them.
Like
But
it's attempted murder, so it's
Yes, but even then, nowadays in today's laws, even attempted murder can't get you capital. You definitely won't get you a capital anywhere in the Western world, and even in the Eastern world, it's like you need to actually have killed quite a multitude of people. Otherwise, you just get jail time. This is mostly because of humanitarian rights. People have been trying to abolish the capital punishment for a very long time now, and we've successfully done so in the West. We no longer have done it. I think the last capital punishment that was served here in the West, especially in the States, was like either the late 1800s, like 1876, or like the 1900s, early 19s. So, as to whether this guy will actually get capital, and we'll have to see. We might follow the story, we might not.
The last and most recent federal execution of Dustin Higgs, who was executed on January 16th, 2021.
Is this in
U.S.
in the U.S.?
Yeah.
well, damn.
But is his case recent? like, did he recently commit a crime, or is this like one of those that were still being in the jury, under review before they could approve it? Because remember, the death penalty, people under the death penalty have to go through a very long process. So usually they spend a long time in jail before they'll actually get executed.
I'm pretty sure there's people that still have been in jail for like 50 years and are waiting on the death sentence still. Maybe even
Having
longer.
been convicted and sentenced to death in 2000 for his role in the January 1996 murders of 3 women in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So, but the murders took place back in 1996, but the jury found him, sentenced him to death in 2000. So, damn, 21 years.
Yeah, I mean, killing. It's weird because it's just like them deciding to kill other people, easy incarceration, but then deciding whether to off that guy's life, it's like a huge debate that has to happen, where it's just like, I mean, just get it over with and done with. I think he kind of, in the words of JoJo, he chose to throw away his humanity, so I don't think
The anime.
I don't think it needs to go that long. A lot of people actually are really angry about the death penalty because of the fact that it uses, taxpayer dollars to keep them alive until they're executed. That's why people wish that the death penalty was like a lot quicker to go through as a process, so that it would stop costing so much money.
It's also like people say like, oh yeah, prisoners are like constantly stressed out over it and stuff because they never know like when their date's gonna be, because I'm pretty sure they're not told until the day of.
I didn't know that to be the case. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they would at least get some kind of stuff. I know they do like, hey, last meal type thing. Like, what do you want for it?
Yeah. Some places still do that. Some places don't.
I'm pretty sure they're damn near entitled to a last meal.
I think they are, but they don't get like a choice in some states anymore.
I mean,
because of outrageous things in the past where people, wanted a bunch of food and just never ate it.
I mean, if you've done enough to warrant the death penalty, I'm not so concerned about your mental health. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, they're human too. Oh, you're giving them so much stress. Like, bitch, they killed 30 people.
But there's always gonna be those people that say, oh yeah, just fucking end it. Don't.
There are some, yeah. There's been one who said, don't worry about whatever I want, just give some homeless people some pizza.
Yeah, but then they never actually did, so people...
No, but here's the thing, though, that homeless people got food just through other people, doing it.
Because they found out
about it.
Yeah, which was pretty nice. I mean, it wasn't like a thing to make up for it, but...
Whether it's to this guy gets it, I highly doubt it. He hasn't done enough, which is a weird thing
not
to say
necessarily enough.
when we're looking at this case, because he did stab 17 people, but it's just like he hasn't killed anyone. So in the eyes of the law, I don't think he's done enough to warrant the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go a little off topic for a second, but I don't know. For some reason, this just reminds me of like all those like clowns that were going around terrorizing people a few years ago.
Oh my god, yes.
For some
the clown pandemic, yeah.
That it was crazy to just see that kind of shit on the news of people actually going around as clowns. The videos on the internet of people getting chased by people dressed as clowns.
Didn't someone actually die because of that though?
I'm pretty sure a few people have.
Yeah, the weird part of that was you didn't know who was taking advantage of who. All these prank channels that were coming out because of these people doing these acts, or all the people doing these acts taking advantage of these prank channels by trying to masquerade as something harmless before stabbing people.
I feel like that's how it started. Like influencers caused it, and then it became like an actual real serious thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It was just like, oh, these influencers came out wanting to do pranks, and then people who actually wanted to hurt people were like, hey, maybe people think it's a prank, and then we'll get some blood on our hands. So,
yeah.
Creepy.
That was
Anyways,
yeah, that was creepy.
Want to stab each other? What's wrong with y'all?
So,
you want to do one of your psycho?
Well, actually, I was on a weird side tangent. You know what is truly terrifying? Japan's conviction rate. Jesus Christ.
Wait, how bad is it?
99%.
Holy shit.
With very little chance of reopening cases. Like, it's only happened...
Oh, shit, dude. I mean, isn't Japan basically like, you're basically guilty unless you're proven not? So it's like that opposite of your...
yes. There's like an overwhelming amount of evidence that would suggest that you're not guilty. Generally, it means that once you've entered the courtroom, your fate is sealed. It is quite infamous in Japan for this.
That's fucked.
And I think, damn, I mean, it's better nowadays when I think about it, because, technology's gotten a lot better in forensic science. It's not so much as the case as back in the ye old dark ages, when someone could just say that they saw you do something and everybody would be like, well, this guy seems like a trustworthy guy, guess we gotta take his word for it. Nowadays we have actual science to back up whether a crime was committed by a person, so it's a bit better. Mm-hmm. But when those techniques are often getting muddied by other people who also know that process and can take advantage, it's a bit rough. I'd say, it's like a good number of cases are open and shut, but to have that kind of a conviction rate when there's this kind of precedence in the courtroom where it's like, once everybody kind of agrees, they just throw out any due process and just say, let's get it over with and convict the guy. It's like, oh, that's kind of rough, huh?
Man, I wonder how are appeals like in Japan?
I think that's kind of why people find the Phoenix Wright series so hilarious, because it truly does take some overwhelming amount of effort to try and overturn a case once everyone's kind of decided this is the direction it must be. So it's just like, damn, Japan,
the entire thing was just super fucked. Jesus.
But then again, it's just like everything's orderly in Japan, so it's just like, don't commit the crime, you won't do the time. So they ain't got time for reviewing your bullshit, right? And it's just like, listen, man, if you weren't thinking about doing any crimes, wouldn't be any issues. Terrifying.
Yes.
I can't even imagine that, to be honest. That's so fucking wild.
I guess on a weird transition, since we were talking about train crimes, I wanted to transition over to the, what is this? Shinrikyo cult. And the reason I'm transitioning is because this cult was also behind Japan's, I think it is Japan's worst biohazard attack.
Oh shit, really?
Oh.
Yeah, so this happened in March of 1995. And what they did was they filled bags with nerve agent. So this is the kind of shit where it was like once you've like punctured the bag or something, it would then turn into a gas form and then come out and attack people, invade their systems. So what they did was they left 5 bags filled with nerve agent, punctured the bags, left, and, you know, the gas would start spreading throughout the whole train. And so accordingly, it's killed 13 people and, you know, injured countless others.
Lovely.
Some deadly fart bombs.
And it's just like that. Yeah, that it's some deadly stuff, truly.
Jesus.
It's just and I'm not quite even sure what the point of the attack was. Like, I think they were just doing it to send a message or something, because their whole point of their cult is this idea of transcendence of death. So they have this whole belief centered around this thing called the supreme truth, and that truth is death, because everything dies. No brainer there. The cult is notorious because their leader is basically deified. He's a regular dude, but he's been made out to be like, oh, I've seen God and whatnot, right? He claims he can levitate. He claims his blood has healing powers. And the worst of it is that he kind of does the Scientology thing where he bleeds his members dry for money. Like, people will pay like exorbitant amounts of money to like consume his blood, partake in rituals, gain membership, that kind of thing.
It's truly psychotic. Jesus Christ.
It's creepy how...
Yeah.
It's creepy just how willing people are willing to buy into this. It's like, I don't even know what to say, These guys...
Definitely.
And even in an effort to like spread their message, they have like video games. They have a straight up anime.
Really?
Yeah. It's a really old looking anime, but yeah, they have an anime based on the dude, based on their leader. It's weird.
I need to know the name of this anime. Please tell me you have it.
Shinrikyo anime. Oh, look at that. The cult created its own studio called MAT, Manga Animation and Team, in 1991 for the sole purpose of recruiting otaku into their cult. This 10-episode OVA mostly focuses around Asahara himself being Jesus Christ.
Studio Matt. Wait, no, there's no way that's it. Is it seriously that? Studio Matt? Holy shit, dude.
You're seeing what I'm seeing? It's Jesus, dude.
Yes.
I don't
thing, dude.
Oh my god.
I mean, you gotta admit, the leader's got quite the hair on him. I'll give him that much. He basically would be Asian Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Damn.
Chotsu Sekai.
I don't even know what to say. It's just crazy.
Okay, so their studio's Matt, but there's also a anime studio called Studio Matt, which is definitely not tied to it, thankfully, because they did a lot of good anime.
Yeah, just
hopefully they know
full name.
Hopefully they know of that. Like, there was someone with close to the same name as. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Honestly,
Jesus.
better stuff like this get buried under and like never brought back to the surface again. This is some weird stuff, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hold up, what was the rating on Mal? Yeah, there's a Mal on there.
It doesn't have a Mal rating. It
my
does have a
God.
Mal listing. It's 5.83.
Out
Ranked
of
number 9270.
What do I?
That's too high. I feel like that's too high.
That sounds like way too high of a rating.
It has a better rating than X-Arm. Damn.
And I've seen how shit that anime can be too. Oh my god.
Congrats to the Angst and Ricky cult. Just beat out
Damn.
X-Arm like 20 years later.
Damn, that's kind of a fucking roast on the. Oh my god.
Oh
Sean, can you go like one episode without roasting X-Arm, please?
Yo, it's been a
already
fat minute
dead,
since I'd
Sean.
said anything bad about X-Arm.
It's already dead, Sean. Stop.
If I remember correctly, you were the last one to bring it up.
Stop kicking the dead horse.
Let's just agree. Let's just agree to shake hands. Stop talking about it. Leave the horse in its grave. You know.
Okay.
We'll find the next
well-
thing to shit on. All right.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and show on the Otaku Murderer.
Otaku murderer. Now this I gotta see.
Otaku Murderer. Tsutomu Miyazaki. The only reason why he was dubbed the Otaku Murderer was because the media misrepresented his collection of pornography and horror videotapes as being anime and manga, which
Wait, what?
triggered the original like panic against otakus in Japan.
Oh, wait,
Yep.
so literally some guy did like an interview and then was just like, ah, yes, all this pornography. This is what the children
No.
are
They
watching."
found his collection after. Yeah.
But they were labeling it as like anime and manga.
Yep.
And so people had this idea, oh no, the children, they're looking at porn. Which
Just
they kind of
they
are
were
in
scared
some
of
series,
people
but-
who were classified as otakus, thanks to this guy. Anyways,
Oh, God.
he murdered 4 young girls in Tokyo between August of 88 and 89, and June of 89.
My God.
So yeah.
He's our grandfather. Unfortunately, he's also a murderer.
Yeah,
God damn it, man.
abducted and killed girls aging from 4 to 7. You know, the ones that really can't do a whole lot, so he's a real scum of the earth.
Bruh, how you gonna be like the grandfather of history but have that kind of history tied to you?
He was a cannibal. I think this is the one that Sasha was referring to.
What? No, Issei Sagawa is the guy Sasha's referring
Oh,
to.
well,
Issei Sagawa was
He
the
engaged
different
in necrophilia and cannibalism.
dude. The otaku murderer
Yep.
of the
Yep. 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 I hope Dan's not throwing up right now. Dan, are you okay?
This isn't gonna make me throw up, but I've definitely had the.
Between
Why?
the ages of 4 and 7. Yep.
Jesus.
You know, with Issei Sagawa, when he looked at his like classmate, and we'll get into the full story, but when he looked at his classmate and saw this beautiful woman, it's like, okay, I could sort of see it, you know, from a cannibal's perspective, but a 4 to 7 year old, that's like looking at a baby cow and thinking, man, I can make a full meal out of this. Which
So there's that, but there's also another like pretty disgusting part of this dude is that he preserved body parts that he kept as trophies, but then he also taunted the families of the victims with said body parts.
Wow.
That is fucked.
Yeah.
Oh
Wait,
my
how did he do that?
god.
He sent it through postal.
It does not specify, and I don't feel as though I need any specification.
I
The
mean,
old
I'm
mafia
actually
way, just
curious.
put a foot in the mail.
People do that. People have that. Well, I mean, Mailing body parts nowadays is actually not that uncommon.
But he was diagnosed as having one or more personality disorder, but he was deemed sane and aware of his crimes. Therefore, yeah.
I mean,
He
you can have all the personality
died.
disorders you want. It's like you're not the guy from Split.
Yeah. He died in 2008 at the age of 45 in Tokyo Detention House.
Specified by suicide,
Oh,
natural
no.
causes.
Cause of death? Execution by hanging.
Oh, so he got the capital. All right.
Yep.
Man, that is chilling. What? The weird part about this is like, what was his problem? What was his deal? He's known as like the otaku murderer, but then when I think about it, like, I would have thought he would have done some kind of, oh, we live in a society bullshit like the Joker guy, right? Like, oh, how dare they oust me as the otaku, right? And like killed maybe other otaku to earn such a moniker, maybe killed some regular folk. What did he just randomly target children for?
I'm sure if I were to like deep dive into his backstory, his early years and such, maybe I'd find something, but I don't know. I saw that and I was just like, I don't want to know much more about this dude.
Yeah, that's already pretty disturbing to hear about.
Prior to him being called the otaku murderer, he was named the Little Girl Murderers.
Ugh. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Truly all sorts of walks of life on this earth, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly segues from one cannibal to another. Let's talk about Issei Sagawa, which, audience, if you didn't know, was heavily requested by dear old Sasha. We discussed this one. He's a rather famous case.
Who's not here enjoying a wedding?
Like a regular person.
He got some free time to go enjoy some wedding and not be here for this lucky guy.
I bet he's eating a whole banquet. I bet he has cake. How dare he?
Dare he enjoys cake.
Well,
I want cake.
Sasha, I hope you're enjoying your meal like Issei Sagawa enjoyed his meals.
No.
This was a rather infamous case because this wasn't just any ordinary local serial killer. No, Issei Sagawa's very famous case because this was an international case. He was an international... I wasn't sure if it was like a transfer student. No, he wasn't, right? Because it's a university. He's an international student who went all the way to... I don't know which university it is. What universities are in Paris?
Gosh, I could not tell you.
Well,
Bro, I went to some basic ass university. You think I'm gonna know one in Paris?
well, anyway, he went to like an art school in Paris, and so he met a German woman, I think it was. I gotta... Oh no, it's a Dutch woman, Renee Hartvelt.
Academia Julian Academia de la Grande Charmire. Yeah, I mean, there's apparently a lot, actually.
Turned off all of anybody who might speak French in our audience.
I'm sorry. I'm American. I'm sorry.
Man, first he's butchered in Japanese out here, next French.
I'm not trying to act French. I'll try to put the accent.
He's gonna start a whole ass revolution again, just like the good old days. We will facilitate another American revolution. One where we abolish all of the languages that are not American. America be like,
Anyways,
we will pacify the world. Just
about the German girl that Isagawa met.
Not Dutch. So it was like a classmate of his. He like met her probably during classes or campus or something. grew infatuated with her, and so he invited her to a pleasant dinner at his apartment. Little would she find out later on that she was the dinner.
Oh.
You know? When she walked in the door and she asked, "So where's the dinner?" He looked dead into her eyes. And that was the last that anyone would see her, because Sagawa would kill her. Not safe for Twitch, but he would the body over and over again because he was a necrophiliac. And then he would cut up the body and preserve various parts for stews and stuff later on. As apparently this is like a very common thing for cannibals to do, like, because it'd be like an awful waste of meat in their eyes if you didn't eat everything. So they would just cut up, like, butcher the body, tie them up in like bags and like stuff them in the freezer or something. I've listened to a lot of cannibal cases on YouTube. Seems like a common practice amongst them.
To freeze the bodies?
Yeah, because then you could save it for like stews. So they claim. Don't know from experience. I do not speak from experience.
He's been learning on how to do this, understood.
Okay, so according to this case, what probably the most messed up part of this case is what happened afterwards, because Sagawa, because he's an international student at that time, means his dad was like really wealthy, and so he got him a really good lawyer and managed to find him legally insane in front of a French judge, nonetheless. So instead of, probably facing capital at the time, he instead was ordered to be held indefinitely at a mental institution. So
okay.
he didn't even seem like he served. He didn't even seem like he served that much punishment, especially considering he would go on to, author 2 books and be successful. I'm pretty sure he was even let back into society at some point. Yeah, Sagawa's continued freedom has been widely criticized. As the charges against Sagawa in France had been dropped, the French court documents were sealed and were not released to Japanese authorities. So he didn't even get tried in a Japanese court afterwards. That's how bad this is. He was let a free man, and then he wrote about his experiences. Like he was proud of it.
What the hell? I mean, so... But he did get, capital punishment, did he not? Or
no, like I said,
what happened?
Originally they were going to just hold him in a mental institution for, ever, because, he got a wealthy dad, so he got him a really good lawyer, and, they were like, oh, he's mentally insane. He can't be executed and whatnot. He wasn't in the right state of mind, so they're like, okay. But then apparently... But apparently he got his work published by an author who came to visit him, and he got so much publicity and celebrity status that they decided instead to deport him to Japan and drop the charges.
Oh, wow.
And then they didn't release those court documents to the Japanese authorities because the case was dropped. So he never got tried for any crimes whatsoever.
That is insane.
Yep.
Wow, literally just getting off scot-free.
And he still walks free to this day.
So you mean to tell me that this man is not in Japan continuing this shit? I mean, I'm sorry, but once a cannibal, always a cannibal, I'm assuming.
Listen, the cynic in me probably knows he's probably maybe still doing some stuff, because at the end of the day, as a lot of these cases goes, it's that perverts don't keep themselves contained forever. They may get their rush the first time, but that doesn't mean they're done for life. Eventually, they're gonna go back for seconds, right? So the cynic in me wants to say that he's may have done some stuff that we don't know about, but as far as we're concerned, and that we know of, is that he's been a clean man ever since. And I imagine of someone of that profile, he probably has someone surveilling him at all times. I'm pretty sure he's not just a free man. Like, they're definitely keeping tabs on the guy, but I don't know, who's to say?
That is insane.
That is insane.
And right now he's 72 and he's just like, yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, I killed a woman. You know, fornicated with her corpse multiple times, ate her up. I'm a free man.
Like, a lifetime of cannibalistic thoughts. Jesus.
Like, I'm sorry, just... did this guy get Phoenix right as his lawyer or something? Somehow managed to convince the entire court that he was fine to be let back into society. Like, what? Just this whole thing just baffles me. It truly does.
And he even confessed to it.
It's like a cacophony of fuck-ups, like left, right, and center.
He said, I killed her to eat her flesh. That was literally his dead-ass response.
And yet, somehow this magical lawyer of theirs convinced everybody he's insane. He doesn't know what he's saying. You gotta let him go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to look at this picture. Just look at this picture. I'm sorry for those who are listening, but look at this picture. It's captioned with, "Where's Issei Sagawa now?"
Yeah,
oh, God.
That is definitely a sane, regular man. I have no idea what you're talking about, Sean. He looks completely normal and does not look like a danger to society. Doing the
just with this person. I know, dude. It's so creepy. No. He needs to be in a fucking padded room or something. Like, no, he should not be.
Jacket, yeah.
Yes.
I know,
dead ass Hannibal Lecter style mouth guard, everything.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you then.
And one of his latest quotes is, I hope that people who read it will at least stop thinking of me as a monster. People who read his book.
Oh, yes. You have to understand. It was my fetishes and my desires.
His most recent book is called Extremely Intimate Fantasies of Beautiful Girls. And it's filled with pictures drawn by himself, as well as by famous artists.
I don't even
Wait,
know what to say.
hold
I
up.
know there are people who've done worse than him, but it's just like to think that this guy did this and still got away unpunished.
His brother asked him, as your brother, would you eat me? His only response that his brother, or that Sagawa gave, is just an empty stare of silence.
So we're not here right now.
So there was no, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, dude. What the fuck?
I understand why this is one of Sasha's favorites. Truly just mysteries all around, really.
Fucking crazy.
I've got a pretty bad one in my opinion.
Yeah?
Their
Legs.
name, her name is Miyuki Ishikawa. So they also have a nickname. They say Oni Sanba, which means demon midwife. So she was a hospital director, a maternity hospital director, and she basically killed about 103 to 169 infants due to neglect. And
that lady.
Yeah, she was pretty much she was a director for, paternity hospital. And since there was a lot of, poor families, had their kids in the hospitals and everything, they couldn't take care of them. I guess she decided, not care for them and pretty much just let them died due to neglect. She was she was arrested on January 15, 1948. She was sentenced to 8 years in prison, but she got resentenced to 4 years in prison in 1952. So that's a pretty light sentence for all that. Basically murdering
potential, stars, celebrities, Einsteins, whatnot.
Yeah, they said the confirmed amount that she killed is about 85, but they said it could have been up to 169 because they're not all confirmed.
I mean,
I think at the end of the day, the takeaway from this is that Japan as a whole is rather civilized, but that's just because of how much control goes on behind the scenes. And when someone snaps, they do it in a dramatic fashion in Japan. I heard about this on Trash Taste, which is like, they're pretty much petty crimes don't happen in Japan, but anytime there is a crime, it's some serious stuff.
Yeah. I also have another little messed up piece. Apparently later she also attempted to garner payment for these murders. She and her husband yes.
What?
She attempted to garner payment for them. She and her husband Takeshi solicited large sums of money from the parents, claiming that it would be less than the actual expense of raising the children. So the parents basically gave their children over for money so they could just basically neglect them and kill them.
Wait. So these parents actually agreed and actually paid money to her?
That's what this is saying, yes.
Oh.
Fucking baffled.
And there was also a doctor that aided them in the death certificates.
It's child abandonment, but with extra expensive steps.
Yes. It's honestly very sick to read this because there's a lot of fucked up shit in here.
Definitely.
Telling you, man. When people want to cheat the system, Japan, it goes to some crazy lengths.
It's also such a light sentence for what they did, because it was multiple people, but still none of them got over 4 years of sentencing.
I mean, I don't quite know how it changes with the death of children, but I guess it's just because she wasn't a hands-on murderer. Like, death through neglect, like, death is death. No question about it, but it's like death through neglect or death through, first degree, right?
Yeah, but a lot of people consider that the same thing, because especially since they're,
there is
a director at a hospital.
Money and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah.
And based on this position, she was a director of a hospital. It's like kind of your job title, lady. If you were just a regular, nurse or whatnot, you could argue a case that you couldn't handle all 169 babies or something, but when you're the director, that is in your job title. You are to oversee everything. And therefore, there really is no excuse that you could possibly give for such a grave situation.
Okay, I got close out of that. I'm just reading it, and it was just making me sick.
What we learned today, folks? What have we learned? We learned that when Japanese people snap, they do some pretty fucked up stuff.
They fucking snap. Ugh.
Truly, every one of them has the mentality to become the Joker and say, we live in a society, and commit some terrible atrocities.
Yep.
I mean, if you're gonna dress up as the Joker, you better do a fucking better job than this, dude.
Is there an image of the dude?
No, you know what? That's actually a wonderful question. Let me see.
Because the way the report states is he was just dressed in a purple suit and the makeup, but I don't know what that means. Like, you could just put powder your face white, put on lipstick, and put on a purple suit and call yourself the Joker. Or with the green hair, of course. So, I don't know.
It doesn't give a name. It just still just says the attacker right now.
They might not have released that information yet. It is still very early, so especially if it was just done today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just today, so let's see.
What do you think is more dangerous? I want to ask some curious question. What do you think is more dangerous? A society like ours, where there's kind of like always some discontent, there's petty crime everywhere and whatnot, or a system like Japan, where it's like none of that exists, but when there are crimes, they're like really serious crimes.
I think I prefer Japan's way, just because there are a lot of serious crimes here. We just don't always hear about it.
I mean, that's fair.
And I don't know, you like here, like you always kind of have to, watch your back.
Yeah,
There you go.
I guess so.
I don't know if I would consider that a Joker. A Joker costume. He might have just wanted to put on something flashy.
Bro, you could have told me this man was wearing a JoJo suit and I would have believed you.
Honestly, that looks some...
Wait, he's not even wearing any makeup. Like, what do you mean the Joker? His hair is his regular ass black hair.
I see JoJo's a lot more, yeah.
Yeah, this man looks nothing.
This man looks like fucking Kira compared to anything else, yeah.
What do you mean the Joker? If it weren't for the fact that he was just like going around stabbing people, I wouldn't have any inclination to believe he was doing anything Joker-like.
Yup.
Oh my god. He also looks like a fucking man-child. Is it just me?
Yeah, I agree. He really does.
He's got a big-ass baby head and like a tiny body. Like, what's up with that?
With his little cigarette.
He's got that one cigarette, but it's not even lit because I don't see any smoke coming out of it. Like, what? The butt doesn't look like doesn't have that orange glow when it's lit.
It's one of those candy cigarettes.
He just has just a cigarette in his hand. He's just like, yes, I look so cool, getting ready to prove to everybody that we live in a society. Like, what?
Why does it look like he's posing for that photo?
He saw the camera outside.
Yeah.
And he was just like, this is my moment. they're gonna show it to the news outlets everywhere. Put the cigarette in hand. Yeah.
Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for this? Breaks his knife.
I like how there's one picture of him right there, the one I sent, but then there's another one where they blurred out his face.
What the fuck? Somebody didn't do their job. Oh my god.
Nah, you fucked
Good job,
up.
guys. Good job.
Round of applause, everybody. Job well done. Lunch break, everyone.
Oh, wait, did they actually have a fucking video of it? No, so this is actually him after stabbing people and spraying hydrochloric acid on passengers on a train in Tokyo and then setting everything on fire.
The same
I
guy?
remember that bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's him,
I
yeah.
forgot the part where he also set the train cars on fire, yeah.
Holy shit.
But only because
Fuck.
I don't know if anyone was injured because of that. I'm pretty sure it was just the stabbings, right? So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one way to wrap it up.
I
Man,
agree.
real quick before we wrap it up. Just because, I don't know, not a lot of spook factor going on here, so I figured I'd ask before we could turn this into a full episode. But what are some favorite Japanese urban legends that y'all know about?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know of many. It's because I've heard of urban legends, but I don't think I've heard of any from originating in Japan.
If you know any horror movies, like there's a good chance it's based off a Japanese urban legend, like The Ring.
I didn't know that was a Japanese urban legend.
Yep.
What about Grudge?
The Grudge, definitely.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable having some little fucking kid go.
Jesus.
But yeah.
My personal favorite
What about
actually
you?
is Split Mouth. It's a story of this lady who will go around asking. She'll like have a face mask on, and she'll go around asking people like if she's beautiful, and then if you say no, she'll stab you, and then if you say yes, she'll pull down her mask and reveal like her mouth is torn open at the sides, and she has this kind of like big jaw thing going on, and she'll be asked like, "How about now?" And then you still have to reply yes if you want to live, but at the cost that she'll be like, okay, then I will make you look beautiful like me, and then proceed to slice open your mouth.
That's when you just be nice right off the bat and just say, yep.
No, see, the actual solution to this is the first time she asks you, you just run away. She won't give chase.
That's true. That's
According
good to know.
Legend. So, there is an out. So
Apparently, there's a YouTube video for it too, like someone dressed up for her and everything.
yeah, it's it's one of those popular ones that go around.
Hmm.
And it's like there are plenty of popular ones that go around there, like Hanako. Damn, now I'm blanking out.
I think this one was Korean, but the Bong Chung Dongas. I remember that shit from way back. I think that was I don't know. Someone just made a little website thing for that one. I remember correctly.
I don't know. I was originally considering when pitching this dark roast to just say, "Hey, let's just do Japanese urban legends because we haven't done any." But then I just thought, "Hey, let's just talk about actual real life creepy stuff because reality is always scarier than fiction."
That's true.
Maybe next year for Halloween we can talk about some popular Japanese urban legends.
That would be cool because it is a lot scarier talking about real events because you never know if something shitty like this could happen to you or.
That is a terrifying thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for giving me more existential dread.
You're welcome.
Ah, yes, the contemplation of my own mortality.
Well,
truly scarier than any demon that my mind can conjure.
If you wish to watch the podcast live, you can watch it on twitch.tv/Caffeinated Podcast. And if you wish to listen to the podcast in the podcast format, just look up Caffeinated Podcast on your podcast hosting platform of choice. Dan, the Twitter, please.
Our Twitter is @Weebs Podcast. Feel free to tweet at us, ask questions, make fun of us. Up to you.
Psycho. YouTube, please.
Well, you want to catch all of our previous podcasts? You can catch those at Caffeinated Weebs. YouTube.com, baby.
And you can check out the Reddit, enjoy some stupid memes and stuff that happen from here, and also give some ideas and feedback. That would be Caffeinated Weebs, r/Caffeinated Weebs. Once again, I've been one of your hosts, Shiny095. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at those same handles.
I'm Danbyytv. You can find me at the same handles on Twitch and Twitter.
Yeah, and I've been Psychometry with 3 Ys at the end. You can catch me at Twitch and Twitter at the same handle.
And we will be back next week for the second half of Tokyo Revengers.
Ah, yes.
Bye.
Time for the bad part. Jump scare. God damn it, I didn't set that to loud.
Good night.